You've been waiting for years to get your hands on the revolutionary micro-LED display technology on an Apple Watch. You've read countless reports and analyst predictions saying 2026 would finally be the year. The Apple Watch Ultra 4 was supposed to be the game changer that would bring this cutting-edge display to your wrist. But here's the reality check. That micro-LED dream is dead once again. Today we're diving deep into why Apple's most anticipated display technology won't make it to the Ultra 4, what went wrong behind the scenes, and what this means for you as a potential buyer. We're also going to explore what Apple is offering instead, and whether the Ultra 4 is still worth your hard-earned money without this breakthrough technology. If you're considering upgrading to the Ultra 4, or you're just curious about Apple's display strategy, this video will give you everything you need to know. Let's start by understanding what we were supposed to get with micro-LED technology. So, micro-LED represents the next big leap in display technology, promising to make current OLED screens look outdated. Unlike OLED displays, micro-LED uses millions of tiny, self-emitting LEDs that can produce incredibly bright images while using less power. The technology promises no burn-in issues, better color accuracy, and a significantly longer lifespan compared to OLED. For the Apple Watch Ultra series, this seemed like the perfect match since these watches are designed for extreme outdoor use, where maximum brightness is crucial. For years, industry analysts and reliable sources kept reinforcing the idea that 2026 would be the breakthrough year. Reports consistently pointed to the Ultra 4 as Apple's first product to feature micro-LED technology. The rumors painted a picture of a display so bright and vibrant that it would completely change how we use smartwatches in direct sunlight. Consumer excitement built up as people imagined having a watch display that could compete with the brightest smartphone screens while lasting much longer on a single charge. But here's where reality hit hard. Manufacturing micro-LED displays at the scale Apple needs is proving to be nearly impossible. So what's Apple doing instead for the Ultra 4? They're sticking with OLED technology, and honestly, this makes complete business sense. The OLED technology is mature and reliable, and Apple knows exactly how to work with it at massive production scales. The supply chain for OLED is well established, costs are predictable, and quality control is manageable. While this might disappoint tech enthusiasts who were hoping for the next big thing, OLED still delivers excellent performance. Apple will likely use an advanced OLED panel that offers strong peak brightness, perfect black levels, and accurate colors. The company has also been working on improving OLED energy efficiency, which helps offset some of the power advantages that micro-LED would have provided. Now let's talk about why micro-LED manufacturing is such a nightmare. The biggest challenge is something called mass transfer, essentially placing millions of microscopic LEDs onto a single display substrate. Imagine trying to place millions of components, each smaller than a grain of sand, in perfect alignment without any defects. Current manufacturing processes result in high costs and low production yields, meaning many displays fail quality checks and have to be thrown away. This creates a situation where producing enough displays for a mass-market Apple product becomes extremely expensive and unreliable. Apple simply cannot risk having supply shortages for a flagship product like the Ultra 4. The business case for micro-LED just doesn't work in 2026 because the manufacturing costs would force Apple to price the Ultra 4 way beyond what consumers would accept. Apple's product strategy has always focused on reliable manufacturing and controlled profit margins. An experimental technology that could halt production or create supply bottlenecks goes against everything Apple stands for in terms of product launches. There are also technical hurdles that haven't been solved yet, including questions about long-term panel reliability. For a rugged device like the Apple Watch Ultra, durability is non-negotiable, and micro-LED hasn't proven itself in real-world conditions. The infrastructure needed to produce millions of flawless micro-LED panels simply doesn't exist yet, and building it would take years. But here's an important point. Micro-LED isn't completely dead at Apple. The company continues investing heavily in this technology because they recognize its potential for future products. Apple sees micro-LED as crucial for high-end wearables and AR devices that are still in development. The delay we're seeing is more about logistics and manufacturing readiness, rather than the technology being fundamentally flawed. However, all signs point to micro-LED being years away from production readiness for consumer devices. No major breakthroughs in mass transfer efficiency have been announced publicly, and yield issues continue to plague the industry. So what is the Ultra 4 offering instead to justify an upgrade? Apple is focusing on substantial improvements in areas they can control and deliver reliably. Expect a more powerful S-series chip that brings noticeable performance gains for apps and health monitoring. Battery management will likely be optimized to push the device closer to true multi-day usage for most users. Health sensors are getting upgraded, with rumors pointing to advanced, non-invasive monitoring capabilities. There's talk about hypertension notifications that could help users track potential blood pressure issues. While a glucose sensor isn't expected in this model, Apple's health technology roadmap suggests more innovations are coming in future versions. Design tweaks and durability enhancements are also likely, maintaining the Ultra's reputation as the toughest Apple Watch. These improvements might not generate the same excitement as a revolutionary display technology, but they often matter more to real users. Athletes and outdoor enthusiasts care more about battery life, health monitoring accuracy, and durability than having the latest display tech. Speaking of battery life, the Ultra 4 is expected to maintain or even slightly improve its endurance despite rumored design changes. In low-power mode, the device could potentially last up to 72 hours, making it perfect for extended outdoor adventures or travel. This balance between performance and battery life shows Apple's commitment to delivering practical benefits rather than just impressive specifications. For pricing, analysts predict the Ultra 4 could cost between $849 and $899, up from the current $799 price point. This increase would reflect the internal upgrades and potential tariff impacts on manufacturing costs. However, Apple might choose to maintain current pricing to stay competitive in the smartwatch market. The expected release date remains September 2026, following Apple's traditional fall launch schedule for new Apple Watch models. So what does all this mean for you as a potential buyer? If you are holding off on buying an Apple Watch Ultra specifically waiting for MicroLED technology, you'll need to adjust your expectations. The Ultra 4 will still be an excellent smartwatch with meaningful improvements over current models, just not the revolutionary display upgrade many were hoping for. For current Ultra 2 owners, the decision to upgrade will depend on how much you value the performance improvements, better health monitoring, and enhanced battery life. If you're using an older Apple Watch or considering your first Ultra purchase, the Ultra 4 will likely offer significant benefits regardless of the display technology. The health monitoring capabilities alone could justify the purchase for users who prioritize wellness tracking. For outdoor enthusiasts and athletes, the improved durability and extended battery life will probably matter more than display technology anyway. The MicroLED dream for Apple Watch Ultra 4 might be dead for now, but that doesn't mean the device won't be worth buying. Apple's decision to stick with proven OLED technology while focusing on practical improvements shows they're prioritizing user experience over flashy features. Sometimes the most meaningful upgrades are the ones that improve your daily experience rather than adding cutting-edge technology that isn't ready for prime time. What do you think about Apple's decision to delay MicroLED again? Are you disappointed, or do you think focusing on battery life and health features is the right move? Let me know in the comments below. And if this video helped you understand Apple's display strategy, hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe for more Apple Watch rumors and tech info. I'll be following the Ultra 4's development closely as we get closer to that September 2026 release date. So if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more exciting tech news and updates. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.